Live from Okwacha Studios in Blantyre, we bring you the lunch edition of MBC News, and you are with me, Abale Jingambe, coming up later this afternoon. All is set for government civil service personnel forensic audit exercise scheduled from next week to February next year. In sports, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the TNM Super League as they face Karonga United this afternoon. In international news, Kenyan President William Ruto commends peace agreement between Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. Government is set for the civil service personnel audit exercise scheduled from next week to 6th February next year. Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Justin Saidi, and Minister of Information, Shadrack Namalomba, disclosed this in Lilongwe during a briefing on the exercise. According to the senior government officials, the country's wage bill has been increasing unsustainably and is affecting allocation of resources and implementation of various development projects in the country, hence the exercise. Beatrice Mape reports.
Speaking during the briefing, Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Justin Saidi, said the country's wage bill has risen from 479 billion kwacha between 2021 and 2022 to 1.6 trillion kwacha between 2025 to 2026, symbolizing a 234% increase in 4 fiscal cycles. Saidi has further added that for every 100 kwacha a Malawian is taxed, 38 kwacha is channeled to salaries, describing it as an attainable trajectory. He says this has affected availability of resources for infrastructure, healthcare, education, and other enablers that fuel the development of the country. He says the nationwide personnel audit therefore will address systematic weaknesses, procedural incompetence, and eliminate ghost workers, payroll fraud, and duplication, among other problems.
The primary objective of this audit is to reconcile the authorized establishments recorded in the Human Resource Management Information System, HRMIS, and the national payroll with the verifiable presence of every individual in public service. This is the foundational step towards eliminating ghost workers, payroll irregularities, and systematic inefficiency. To ensure a thorough and orderly process with minimal disruptions, the essential public services, the audit will be conducted in phases.
On his part, Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba says the current administration is prioritizing transparency, accountability, and prudent management of public resources, and the exercise is critical to ensure it builds public trust.
Ghost workers, by definition, they don't exist. Physically, they don't exist, but they exist on the payroll. So what happens is somebody slot in a name, and that name gets money. That person does not go to work, but he gets every month. So the intention is to steal. So the person who does that gets the money, or it is shared. It may be a syndicate or something else. So that money is shared. So it is like fraud. Let me say it is a fraud. So if you have also committed fraud in that manner, the laws of the land are very clear. You have committed a crime, and surely you must face the music.
According to the minister, currently the nation's wage bill take up 25% of the recurrent expenditure. The exercise will be done with funding from World Bank and European Commission. Beatrice Mwape, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Leader of the House in Parliament, Jabi Muhango, has assured Malawians that the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP-led administration will fulfill the promises it made to Malawians. Muhango said President Mutharika is working tirelessly to rebuild the country's economy, which was left in disarray by the MCP-led administration. Margaret Mapando has the details.
During the first sitting of the first meeting of the 52nd meeting of Parliament, members of Parliament deliberated on various matters of national interest. Among others, Parliament tabled and passed the revised 2025-2026 National Budget, Bill number 28 of 2025, Taxation Amendment, Bill number 29 of 2025, Value Added Tax Amendment, Private Members Bill number 2 of 2025, Constitution Amendment, and Loan Authorization Bills for various projects in the country. Parliament has adjourned sine die after 5 weeks of the 2025-2026 Media Budget Review meeting, which also marked the first meeting of the 52nd session of Parliament. In his closing remarks, Leader of the Opposition, Simplex Chichola Banda, admitted that expecting the current administration to resolve the country's economic and social challenges within just 3 months is an unrealistic expectation. Chichola expressed hope that the government will implement an economic recovery plan to help address the economic challenges the country is facing.
Malawians are looking for nothing else but, I think, the healing economically so that we start moving towards, economic prosperity. So basically, that's what I really did in my concluding remarks. I also had a chance to remind the House and the general Malawians that we have got quite a number of challenges, and then government should seriously look into those. For example, access to loans, but also farm inputs, because this is already rainy season. We simply need to invest hugely into agriculture productivity if we are to harvest bumper yields next year to avoid future hunger and food insecurity.
For his part, Leader of the House, Jabi Mhango, assured the House that government will do everything possible to restore the country's economy and deliver the promises they made to Malawians.
The country's economy is actually on deathbed, and it is in serious need of resuscitation. The Minister of Finance has assured us all that the team in the Ministry, the team in Treasury, is working tirelessly to ensure that we revitalize the macroeconomic situation in this country. The President himself has been very, very steadfast in steering this ship. So just assure Malawians that as much as we find ourselves in very, very troubled economic situation, their government, led by Professor Peter Mutharika, is working tirelessly to make sure that we get out of this situation. The debt stock is very, very scaring, very, very high, well beyond what people had anticipated. Is now hovering around 28 trillion, very scaring, too high. But as a people, as a country, and as a government, we'll do whatever it takes within our means to make sure that we get out of this very, very complex situation.
Speaker of Parliament, Samir Suleiman, commended the MPs for the passion and the vision displayed in their contributions. Suleiman urged them to continue bringing forward issues that reflect the real needs and prioritizes the people of Malawi.
We have elected chairpersons for all parliamentary committees. My office will ensure that funding to committees is always adequate and made timely to facilitate your oversight roles. May I appeal to all committee chairpersons to work with dedication and commitment to ensure that Parliament delivers to this nation through committees. Vibrant committees give people and the nation at large hope and confidence in their Parliament, since it is through this oversight role that we make our sons and daughters proud of us. I wish to urge all chairpersons to take a leading role in ensuring that committees deliver according to their mandates. If a chairperson does not tick, please kindly step down. Or my office will come in to dismiss you.
Meanwhile, Parliament has adjourned sine die.
Government is in the process of procuring 7 ambulances, and once procurement is completed, allocation will prioritize facilities experiencing critical transportation challenges, including those in Chichipa North constituency. Minister of Health and Sanitation, Madalito Waloi, made the announcement in Parliament, saying the ministry intends to leverage opportunities presented under the new Constituency Development Fund to support the procurement of ambulances for underserved facilities. Waloi was responding to questions from members of Parliament seeking improved healthcare infrastructure in their constituencies, including ambulances and X-ray machines for local health centres.
Currently, the ministry has identified the resources. We are in the process of procuring about 7 ambulances that will be distributed to various health facilities. And in terms of upgrading hospitals, the ministry has what we call investment capital investment plan, where we include all the areas that we see fit to upgrade the health centers into rural hospitals. So most of the questions and most of the constituencies that brought about those questions, they are already in the plans, and once resources have been identified, we will be able to upgrade the health centers to rural hospitals. As you are aware, through the state president, Professor Arthur Peter Montalika, he highlighted that we're going to have in the next financial year 5 billion kwacha that will be allocated through the local councils. So what we are saying is we want that money because it will directly be used within our constituencies. So what we are saying is, as that money is being used, we want the councils to consider health sector as one of the sectors that should benefit from the 5 billion allocation that will be there every year. If you can see, most of the requests are to do with ambulances, renovations, procurement of equipment. We know that, and you know, if you look at the amounts, it's something that 5 billion can handle. So we are saying, apart from just looking at the ministry to provide these resources, why can't also this 5 billion be used, part of it, even a greater part of it, be used for procuring and ensuring that health services are of quality and people are accessing them at nearby places.
Herbal medicines have potential to boost Malawi's economy if properly harnessed. Speaking with embassy pharmacist Benjamin Chinoko emphasized that with proper use and packaging, the natural resources could become a significant contributor to the country's economic growth. This call comes on the heels of a significant milestone achieved by the pharmacy department at Kamuzu University of Health Sciences. Meklina Chira has compiled us this report.
Speaking in an interview with MPC, pharmacist Benjamin Chinoko stressed the need for Malawi to seek guidance from the World Trade Organization on how to harness its herbal wealth, ensuring that the benefits are shared equitably. According to Chinoko, local communities and traditional healers would be compensated for their effort, highlighting the importance of fair compensation for those involved in the process.
These herbal medicines represents a product that if we properly guard and develop, we can showcase to the world and earn some benefits and dividends from this. Yeah, so the best thing that I am suggesting should be done is to make full use of the capacity that is available through World Trade Organization, the WTO. They do have a council on trade aspect related intellectual property rights.
This call comes on the heels of a significant milestone achieved by the pharmacy department at Kamuzu University of Health Sciences, KUHES. The department has taken a historic step forward by strengthening traditional and complementary medicine research in Malawi, paving the way for a new era of collaboration and development in the field. This is the first time Malawi is exploring a clinical trial of a herbal medicine product at this scale, further discussing global and national regulatory frameworks that will guide such trials. Meklina Chirwa, MBC News, Mzuzu.
You're watching MBC News and you are with me, Abale. A reminder of the top stories. All is set for government civil service personnel forensic audit exercise scheduled from next week to February next year. In sports, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the TNM Super League as they face Karonga United this afternoon. In international news, Kenyan President William Ruto commends peace agreement between Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Welcome back. Newly established organization Faith and Climate Justice Network is calling on faith leaders to advocate for environmental conservation. Chief Executive Officer of the network, Louis Ndeka, made the call during an interface with grassroots faith leaders who they want to involve in a conservation of Sochi Hill in a bid to restore the forest cover and sustainability.
We think that the faith community is a unique constituency because it has a very unique reach. When we think about the faith community, where within the week there are thousands, if not millions, of people who sit under faith groups, and we believe that's the most accessible platform for advancing environmental issues, and therefore we're targeting the faith community because we believe it's one important constituency where we can reach the masses with environmental knowledge, and again using internal resources that the religions already have. So we're talking about Islam, we're talking about Rastafarianism, we're talking about Christianity. They have resources within them that can be used to talk about environmental issues, and we want that in conversation to start within the faith communities. We understand that other religious groups have development projects that are dealing with environmental issues.
One of the faith leaders, Jonathan Lampi, said they will now take action and use their congregants as a tool in regenerating the hill's ecosystems. And commenting on the same, Assistant Forestry Officer from the Regional Forestry Office, Edna Ndalama, welcomed the move, adding it will help cover shortage of forest ranges.
With Faith and Climate Justice Network, I think it will yield positive impact, just because the network is focusing on faith leaders, of which we believe that their followers, they do value a lot what their leaders say. So if we involve a lot these faith leaders, I think they will help us in changing the mindset of their followers, because I believe that most of the people that are involved in deforestation activities, they belong to a certain church. So if we focus on these faith leaders, they will help us to change the mindset of their followers. Hence, we'll at least try to curb this problem of deforestation, especially at such forest reserve.
Malawi joined countries across the globe in commemorating World Disability Day. Speaking during activities to mark the day in Blantyre, Executive Director for Togololowala Foundation implored government to support disability groups with technical and vocational skills. Tauson Kamalata has more in this report, being read by Ruth Jinangwa.
The World Disability Day is observed annually on December 3 to promote the rights and well-being of people with disabilities. As marking of activities marking the day, another group of deaf young people graduated with skills in carpentry, tailoring and knitting skills after a year of intensive vocational training. Togololowala Foundation facilitated the informal training, and its Executive Director Gabriel Lungu had this to say.
So we have a number of deaf people who failed to acquire education, and then they cannot even go to technical schools where TVETA accredited, just because for one to go to technical schools like technical schools, they should have a MSCE certificate. So we sit down at Sogololo Wala and partner with the Chitukuko Chilungamo Chifundo CCC Trust. And then that's where we are training now people in an informal way.
The initiative was by Chifundo Chilungamo Chitukuko Trust, which among others aim to empower persons with disabilities. Anna Thomas is the executive director for the organization.
To be honest, this has come very late, because we started as a Chifundo Chilungamo Chitukuko Trust. We started to help prisoners to work in the prison, and we are working in the prisons, especially for health and education. For education, we take material in 14 schools, 14 prisons in Malawi.
In her remarks, Clara Banda, who has been equipped with skills in tailoring, told journalists that she is ready to make a difference in her community.
When I come here, I've learned a lot of work. I've learned how to sew my dress, skirts, blouses, pants, and so many.
The theme for this year is Fostering Disability, Inclusive Societies for Advancing Social Progress.
A call has been made to people in the country to take online abuse as a form of gender-based violence. Blantyre District Council Chairperson Lenzo Chifundo Kalonga made the call during the launch of the 16 Days of Activism at Shikuli Community Ground in Chilega, Blantyre. Kalonga said the district is enhancing coordination with law enforcement agencies, the judiciary and ICT stakeholders to ensure that online abuse is taken seriously as all other forms of GBV. One of the partners, Batamanga Hydropower Limited, stated that the company is actively sensitizing communities on GBV issues as part of its commitment to supporting the campaign.
We are very proud to be a partner of this very important event for Malawi. As a project, the fight against any forms of GBV is one of our top priorities. All our employees, contractors are fully trained against GBV, and we are very proud to have right now 40% of women as MHPL employees, and we want soon to achieve 50% of women. We are very lucky to have an excellent gender and social inclusion specialist like Akatambo, full-time employed to fight any forms of GBV for MHPL employees, but also for all the communities we are working with. So basically we have an action plan against GBV. We do a lot of campaigns on a weekly basis with the communities and also with all the persons affected by the project in our communities.
The Ministry of Trade is reviewing the country's e-commerce laws. An official from the ministry, Esron Chirambo, said the current piece of legislation does not protect consumers from scammers and fraudsters. He was speaking on the sidelines of e-commerce gap assessment training workshop in Blantyre.
With the current law, number one is the risk. People don't trust using the e-commerce simply because some people have experienced it, paying but not receiving the services that they are paying for or the goods that they are paying for. And so many people have been scammed because of poor regulatory framework as well as the institutional coordination on this subject.
The workshop was organized by the Ministry of Trade together with authorities from Esami Trapka. Dr. Tokozani Ngwira is a trade law expert at Esami Trapka.
From the gap analysis report that will be presented tomorrow, what has come out is that one, we need a comprehensive law that has provisions dealing with those that are trading, those that are owning e-commerce platforms, consumers, and indeed even institutions like banks, as well as all those that have payment platforms. So that is important so that all the players in the system are covered.
Moving on to sports. FCB Nyasa Big Bullets have a chance to extend their lead by 3 points at the top of the TNM Super League as they face Karonga United this afternoon at Karonga Stadium. Bullets are currently level on 56 points with rivals Mighty Wanderers, who they lead on goal difference. A win today will take Bullets 3 points above Wanderers, who face Ekaya tomorrow. Karonga are on position 4 with 40 points. The first round meeting between the two teams ended in a 3-3 draw at Kamuzu Stadium in August. The match between Bullets and Karonga is the only one to be played today, as 5 others will take place tomorrow. In international news, Kenyan President William Ruto has commended the peace treaty between Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, describing it as a milestone towards promoting peace and economic cooperation in the African continent. Ruto made the remarks during the signing ceremony held in United States of America. And well, that's it from our newsroom this afternoon. A recap of our top stories before we leave. All is set for government civil service personnel forensic audit exercise scheduled from next week to February next year. In sports, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the TNM Super League as they face Karonga United this afternoon. In international news, Kenyan President William Ruto commends peace agreement between Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. For more updates, scan the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You've been with me, Abale Chingambe. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the day.
Sabara ino mu program ya Woman Talk. Kodi nkoyenera kuti mai amene ali pabanja akamva kuti mwamuna wake ali ndi chibwenzi mseri azipita kumeneko ukamenyana ndi mkazi winayo.
Nkoyenera komanso nkosayenera.
Ndiponso kodi ndiye upita kwa akazi angati ukalira nsanje kwa anthu angati.
Mamuna yuti watuluka yekha ndiye muzimulondola chifacha khalani pakhomo panu zikhalireni pamenepo pesani mtendere wanu ndithu.
Amatenga ana samakhala okha mwina azinzawo kuzaza galimoto tiyeni tikamenyane ndi wakuti.
Koma ukaona kuti iwe udakalitsikana tisanamizana azimayi imafika taina kuti umakhabe uli chitsikana chilipo nawenso kwatiwa peza mamuna aso nawe.
We are back and we're setting the trends as always, because in modern day, it's either you're trending or you're not trending at all.
That is back on the track, baby.
Ay ay, tiro de la timeñane. Como pa' mucho, si we no te dane.
macheza pepe tizingomenya makava 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 tisonkerane makava makava ay ay makava 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 tisonkerane makava
lamulelo yamba kuzipwete kupaya la sama la kuitsa ngati safika pokuti tisonkerane ndekuti sindikwanitsa mwachita kututa na chimbumba kwi basi muzizafutisa muli nyambani funa masaida koma mumamamanyisa Fortek, wallahi mwanyambitika lelo tumenya makafa ali yesa imvele kuwawa
ena fende sitikwanisa hatu basi tigwira na mawa
waona atije nawa mbotawa kumango dziwa kujiba koma kuti tisonke kutaka asa kamoyo kapanji iyo mwerutani ni manyazi ine ndufuna tisare toka osokera na mahanzi asa vimbi nose ndakutulukane muma nienda mapazi komaso muma lezera mwachangu ine ndisa natonyoke
basi